I got to know that you're from this pharma field, and I guess one or two students are also from the biotechnology field. But when we talk about this pharmacovigilance, this field is something which is very important. And in this field, we can have so many professions integrated. And why I am saying this, when we'll be discussing further about the pharmacovigilance, you'll get to know that not only a pharma student or not only a biotech student, not only a person from the micro background, but majority of fields are there which have this integration and equal importance in this specific field. Even an MBBS MD can be part of pharmacovigilance. A pharma person can be part of this particular pharmacovigilance. A student or a researcher, an intern of biotechnology can also be part of this. A dental student can also be part of this. A nursing student can also be part of this, right? As a fresher or as a research associate or as a research assistant or a coordinator, data entry operators, data managers for so many positions, right? So that means this field holds a very important in the current scenario as well as for the upcoming, future also. Because when we talk about this very important part, pharmacovigilance, then come there's a history behind this, why this is required, why this is important, right? Why there should be the professionals in this specific field, so this pharmacovigilance keeps on running. So we will be discussing about all this, and this PPT which I'm sharing with you, it is from the World Health Organizations under in the Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission. So the all the presentation which I'm providing you, it is basically derived from that portal only, so that you can get to understand all the importance of the pharmacovigilance. And when we will be learning about this particular part, you'll be getting to understand that why this career, from the career perspective, this field is going to be important for you all, right? So starting with the very first slide of the session, let me slide show this part. Okay. So an effective pharmacovigilance system, as per the name says, right? See, what happened earlier, it's a story back from 1960. We will be talking about a bit of historical parts, then we'll be coming to the pharmacovigilance importance part, and then we'll talk about the career part. So if you go back to history, like 1960s, right? It was a turning point for the specific pharmacovigilance. Why it was there? Because I guess you are from the pharma field, you must be knowing about this thalidomide drug, which is still given, but in a very under very restriction and very specific conditions only. So at that time, this particular drug, this thalidomide drug, it was given to the pregnant females, right, for the morning sickness, so that they could feel much better. And the morning sickness is it's a very difficult phase for the females, pregnant females specifically. So this drug was given and recommended by so many clinicians, so everything was going normal until when the delivery cases were seen. It was seen that the children, or we can say the infants which were born basically in that particular durations when this thalidomide drug was used a lot, they were having severe birth defects, which we basically call as phocomelia or limb deformities. And then when the survey was done, it was seen like over 10,000 babies, they were affected worldwide with this particular disorder or deformity. So then the government thought that why this is happening. Then they investigated and then they got to know that this thalidomide drug is strictly not recommended for the pregnant females because it can cause the birth defects. It can even mutate certain genes. It can actually, affect the this epigenome system, and because of that, severe birth defects can be there. So then the strict drug safety laws came, and we can say this was the birth of the modern pharmacovigilance systems, right? So when we say that, that what is pharmacovigilance and why this particular example is one of the important turning point in the history of pharmacovigilance, because pharmacovigilance itself means drug safety monitoring. Pharmacovigilance, so it is the drug safety monitoring, and this pharmacovigilance is ensuring that the medicines are safe. Whatever medicines we are providing to our patients, they are safe for the consumptions, as well as they're effective. Definitely, if any patient is getting any kind of medications, so it needs to be effective and they should be used properly, right? So, and this, see, this thalidomide was not only one, is not only one example. If you go back to history, there are so many cases which has, rose the high concern related to the misuse of the drugs, or unnotified use of drugs, or very we can say casual approach towards using certain kinds of drug, right? So even after thalidomide, in year 2004, there was a popular painkiller, that is rofecoxib, right? And that was given for the arthritis patients. But when it was studied that after having this, it came under this Vivox 25 mg kind of under this name. So when this painkiller was given to multiple people, and when the effectivity was studied, it was seen that this particular drug is causing the risk of heart attacks and strokes to many patients. So in 2004, this drug was withdrawn globally. And even more than 80,000 cases were there, which were highly cardiac events. So this is one example. If you go back to history, cases of your paracetamol overdose were studied. Your even your if you go to this current scenario in even 2026, your Novo Nordisk, basically one company is there. So this FDA has warned this particular manufacturer for not properly reporting any kinds of serious adverse event related to a drug, right? Semaglutide, its safety. And even one major case was there, basically your metronidazole. It is one of the, it has given a new adverse drug reaction signals in India, right? So Indian pharmacovigilance program, they have kept these suspected drugs like metronidazole, tramadol, and all these ones, like they show certain kinds of risks to the patients, right? So when we see these scenarios, we have this question that if such drugs are available in the market, right? And who is going to monitor that the drugs are safe, as well as who is going to monitor and report that this drug is causing any kind of drug reaction, or this drug should be withdrawn for the market, or this drug should be given to the patient, or sold in the market under some specific labels. So all these scenarios are there, and the question is why? Who? So, for this solution, for this question, and for this answer and solution, that who is going to take care? Because every day, so many patients take so many different types of drugs, so much of treatments, therapies, vaccination control programs are ongoing in the world, right? And maybe in so many cases, many patients may face certain kinds of adverse drug reactions. So, who is going to take the responsibility? Who is going to monitor and assess such conditions if they are even happening globally or in special reference to India? So, for that purpose, pharmacovigilance is there. This pharmacovigilance is basically a science or the activities under this particular program, which are specifically there to detect, to assess, and to understand that if there are any kinds of adverse effects of the drugs, and if they are there, they are properly reported to any of the national body, so that that national body can take specific steps to basically monitor that particular drug. And if that drug is causing so much of adverse cases, that drug can be withdrawn from the market itself. So that means this pharmacovigilance is basically the drug safety monitoring, so that there can be the safe, the effective drugs in the market. And even if there is any kind of such adverse reactions related to any kinds of drugs, they can be, that problem can be solved. Or if there are so much of, such cases related to a particular drug, that particular drug can be withdrawn from the market. So we can say that this pharmacovigilance is a system that helps to keep check on the medicines even after they are sold to the patients. So that means not only in the preliminary or the preclinical and clinical trial stage, but even if your drug is out in the market, it is in the production, and after production, that drug is out for the sales. The patients are having these specific drugs for their treatments. The system is keeping the eye on all the drugs. That means that particular drug is safe or not, the system is monitoring, and that system is none other than your pharmacovigilance, right? So that means you are trying to find out the side effects of the drug and side effects which are common for all the drugs. But if that particular side effects are actually not because of the pharmacodynamic or pharmacokinetic property of the drug, but they're adverse drug reactions, which can be spontaneous, which can be because of genetic predispositions, because they can be, they can be non-predictable. They are categorized under the adverse drug reaction. So pharmacovigilance can detect it. They can be assessed properly, that which, if the drug was the reason to cause that particular adverse drug reaction. And then pharmacovigilance also understands that why and how this particular drug reaction happened, right? And then it will proceed for its prevention, that any kind of future harm should be avoided. And for that, they will be giving the specific notifications, and they will be taking the specific action for that particular path. In particularly accordance with that, WHO is playing a very important role. World Health Organization. All of this comes under the World Health Organization. And one of the very important part, which I tell my students on the very first day always, that you should be knowing that, where is your pharmacovigilance center, the National Coordination Center present. So in India, it is in Ghaziabad, the National Coordination Center, which is running under the Pharmacovigilance Program of India. You also have this, you call it as an abbreviation form NCC, and it's in present in Ghaziabad. And the international center, the global center is Uppsala Monitoring Center, that is present in Sweden, right? And why this session is important for you people, that why we are talking about it, that because the pharmacovigilance system is integrated and run by people like you, directly as well as indirectly. And why I'm giving this statement, because the good pharmacovigilance practice is the evidence of all this. That means when we are saying that higher management is there, which is leading the implementation of the quality system and motivation for all staff in relation to quality objective, that means this highest management is your pharmacovigilance program of India. The people who are sitting in the as a directors, right, they are leading so many quality systems, they are having so many guidelines related to the quality objective related to pharmacovigilance. But who are the people who are going to investigate that this particular adverse drug reaction has happened, or this particular is the reason behind this adverse drug reaction? These are the people who are within the organization. Within the organization means you people. And why your role is important? Because the pharma people, the nursing staffs, the clinicians, the laboratory technologists in some part, they are the one who are going to complain or file any kinds of adverse drug reactions, that is indirectly. And if you're part of the pharmacovigilance systems, you will be getting different positions in pharmacovigilance, where you will be learning the signaling, how the data is collected. You will be getting to know if there is any kind of clinical trials ongoing. You can be part of their monitoring each and everything. You can be the one with more expertise in medical coding, understanding that any kind of report which is given or submitted by any person from hospital or from the clinics, they are basically correct or not. So like this, so many positions are available in the pharmacovigilance program of India, right? And it's very important because nowadays there are so many things happening, so many diseases are there, so many disorders are there related to that. So much work is ongoing on the production and trials on certain kinds of drugs. Antibiotics are there, vaccines are there, right? And then they need so many efficient people and staff who will be working day and night in the pharmacovigilance departments to monitor such kinds of cases, so that on time, if they are predicted, they will be solved. If they are not reported, they are not, the signals are not detected on time, they will be definitely leading so many disasters. And why I'm saying disasters, because if your drug which is not safe for the human use, or if it is not safe to use in so many populations, it will definitely lead to so much of deaths and lethalities, right? So the ultimate goal of the pharmacovigilance is the rational and safe use of medical drugs. If there is any risk and benefit of drugs on the market, you know even there are so many professionals who are basically appointed for this positions only, so that they can educate and inform the patients about the risk and benefits of the drugs, as under so many awareness programs under the government of India, right? As well as the pharmacovigilance ensures that the benefits of use of medicine outweighs the risk and thus safeguard the health of the Indian populations as well as the global levels also, right? So when we talk about the functions of pharmacovigilance program of India, right, that means the function means the job opportunities and the positions in this particular department. That means if we are saying to create a nationwide system for patient safety program, that means reportings and detection of signals related to the reporting. There will be a job role for this. To identify and analyze the new signal from the reported cases in the computer departments as well as signal detection departments related to ADRs with the special expertise in medical coding. These designations are available. To analyze the benefit risk ratio of marketed medications, there can be the positions of marketing managers also, who are in the market only, trying to identify and analyze the benefit and risk of the marketed drugs. So many pharma companies are there who have some specific marketing managers only, who are appointed only to be in the market and understand that how their drugs are working, how their medicines are working, how their brand is working, and how many ADR cases are there, how many ADR cases are not there, the patients are being benefited or not, so that they can report everything to the pharmacovigilance systems, right? And to generate evidence-based information on safety of the medicines. That means even your R&D sectors are also there, that what is the loophole, what is the gap, right? What are the evidence which are supporting the safety of the medications? These positions are also available. And then support of the regulatory agencies in the decision making process on use of medications. So that means even the higher authorities, the regulatory authorities like CDSCO is there in India, FDA, and your pharmacopoeia commissions and your WHO. There are so many agencies where so many professionals are required for the decision making, for the process and use of medications, for the proper signal detections, as well as policy makings, right? So when we talk about the functions of pharmacovigilance, that means we also understand that these particular functions, they are asking for certain positions in this particular system, right? This pharmacovigilance is so vast. To understand the pharmacovigilance properly, first of all, we have to completely understand the adverse drug reactions, what they are, how they are caused, what different types of ADRs are there, what is genetic predispositions, right? When we understand this, we should be knowing what is pharmacovigilance. Once you got to know that what is pharmacovigilance, then you have to go forward to understand that how a pharmacovigilance signal is detected, how you will detect or how you will analyze that if a person is lying in the hospital, or maybe the case is of home, so this particular case is actually of the adverse drug reaction or it is a normal case of side effect, right? So you have to learn the case studies, you have to get to know that how the cases are analyzed. Then when you proceed further, you have to understand how a pharmacovigilance form is submitted, how a particular pharma PBPI form is filled, how it is collected, and how it is submitted to National Coordination Center, Pharmacovigilance Program of India. Then you have to understand what is basically your specific signal detections, what are audits, what is the med dictionary, right? What is AI? What are the different softwares which are there for the pharmacovigilance? So it's a very vast system that needs to be understood. Today is just an overview that we are just understanding what is basically pharmacovigilance program doing or how it is going to be important. But this system is very, very vast, right? And this particular thing, this is the documents of pharmacovigilance program, a proper pharmacovigilance toolkit, because it comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. So whenever they give any specific positions to their PVPI, and as well as, see, you can see this picture. This is basically Rajnagar, Ghaziabad. So this is the main center in India where your all pharmacovigilance programs, signal detection studies all undergo, coming under the government of India only, right? And these guidelines, these guide documents, they're provided to all the hospitals, all the clinicians, all the pharma peoples, right? So that they can effectively follow the pharmacovigilance programs. It is a responsibility of that government only to maintain this pharmacovigilance one. So we will not talk about the PBI kit and all. Yes, this is very important part. This is about the performance and effectiveness of the pharmacovigilance system. Who can report, what to report, and whom to report. These three things are very important because this showcases the job opportunities. This showcases that directly or indirectly how you can be part of the pharmacovigilance systems. So when we talk about who can report, the healthcare professionals, the clinicians, the dentists, the pharmacists, the nurses, and others, they can report the suspected adverse drug reactions. Your pharmaceutical companies, they can also send the ICSRs specific for their product to NCC, right? This particular term that is basically used here in this perspective. This particular ICSRs means it's like a individual case safety report. It is basically a detailed report of a single patient's who is having this adverse drug reaction, right? So an ICSR is a documented report which is describing one patient who experienced a side effect after taking a medicine or an adverse effect after taking a medicine, right? So in a proper way, ICSRs, they contain a proper structured and different elements are there, like identifiable patient, what was the suspected drug, what is the adverse event, who is the identifiable reporter, is it a doctor, is it a pharmacist, is it a patient, right? So for example, a patient has taken amoxicillin and then he or she develops a severe skin rashes, right? So your ICSRs, they will include the patient details, the age, the gender, the drug he or she has taken, the reaction, when did it started, who reported it, right? So it's a single case, one ICSR, right? So likewise, so many ICSRs are there that are part of pharmacovigilance only: spontaneous reports, clinical trial reports, literature reports. So when we study this pharmacovigilance, we get to understand all these elements also, right? So globally and nationally, these ICSRs are stored in the databases like WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center, VG-based software is there, and Pharmacovigilance Program of India, right? So these are specifically sent to the national coordination centers. These pharma companies who are working and ongoing clinical trials or productions, they can also send the individual case report forms to the NCC, right? What are reported? So all types of suspected adverse drug reactions, irrespective of whether they are known or unknown, they are serious, they are non-serious, they are frequent, they are rare, everything has to be reported, right? So mainly the pharmacovigilance is having the relevance with the pharmaceutical medicines, adverse reactions which are associated with the drugs, right? Or any kind of traditional medicines, herbal remedies, and even self medications is also part of this one. For example, I took some medicine and because of that I got adverse drug reaction. So I have the authority and my family has the authority that this case should be reported to pharmacovigilance. The clinician or the pharmacist or the nurse cannot say no if I'm admitted to the hospital. Even my family member can also report this as adverse reaction to the National Coordination Center, Pharmacovigilance Program of India. So apart from the clinician, dentist, pharmacist, nurses, even a person, a family member, patient can also report. So that is why it's an open platform. But there are so many systems which are integrated in pharmacovigilance. They will detect and they will segregate the genuine cases and the non-genuine cases. For that part, medical coding is important. How to use certain terms for different kinds of symptoms and all. So that is being detected properly, right? Then the question comes: whom to report? So we have to use the suspected adverse drug reaction reporting form, right, which is easily available on the official website of IPC as well as CDSCO also, and to report any ADR. And a reporter who is not a part of AMC can submit the ICR to the nearest AMC or directly to the NCC, right? And in this case, for example, if or any normal person or family person is submitting the adverse report. So if there is any adverse drug reaction monitoring center, because every state has this adverse drug reaction monitoring center, AMC, right? This particular AMC is designated center usually in hospitals or medical colleges where adverse drug reactions are collected, analyzed, and reported, right? So that means this AMCs also function under the Pharmacovigilance Program of India. They are located in medical colleges, hospitals, and research institutes. That means if you're opting or you want a position in pharmacovigilance, even you can get the jobs in medical college under the pharmacovigilance department, in the hospitals also, even in the research institutes where R&D goes on, there also a proper pharmacovigilance system is there, right? And the ADR occurs, for example, if any ADR occurs in patients, or the doctors or pharmacists or patient, they will report it to MC, right? And then the data will be analyzed, validated, and then they will be sent to the national database, right? And then they will be sent further for the global database, right? So there is always a system, like in hospitals or clinics, there will be a system. Hospital will report it to the adverse drug reaction based the centers, which is present, monitoring center which is present in the hospital. So it's like a first point of drug safety data collection. Then this particular AMC will document. They will, discuss with the research committee and the review committee, and then they will further file this case for ICSR, and then it will be sent further to the Pharmacovigilance Program of India (NCC), and then it will be further shared for the Uppsala Monitoring Center. Fine. So this is basically the kind of, we can say, the workflow in the pharmacovigilance, right? I just gave an overview because it's in more detail, but I just needed to give you all an overview about this, like who can report, whom to report, and all, right? So this is a proper protocol. And resources for adverse drug reporting, again, industries can be there, hospitals can be there, pharma companies can be there, right? If we talk about the collaborations, the pharmacovigilance program has the collaborations with the Drug Regulatory Authority, public health and immunization programs, which are undergoing under NGOs also, then pharmaceutical companies, with pharmacovigilance companies also, they have this collaboration with academic institutions and hospitals, professional associations, with the media, with the, again, the World Health Organization, UMC, Uppsala Monitoring Center. So under all these different branches, they have the collaborations. And when again I talk about the collaborations, that means under these different kinds of institutions and under these different kinds of programs and uh, authorities, there are so many job opportunities in the specific fields. So different methods are again for the reporting: spontaneous reporting, cohort event monitoring, targeted spontaneous reporting systems are there. Under that also the reportings are done. That means if you want to be in these companies or the systems, you should be knowing about the spontaneous reporting system, targeted spontaneous reporting system, cohort event monitorings, right? And you can see the organizing committees which are under NCCR, PBPI, working groups, steering committees, quality review panels, signal review panels, right? So positions are also given under these different committees and working groups, right? Safety databases are also there. Safety databases means, again, if a person is well versed with the databases, he or she can again get appointed in the pharmacovigilance systems, right? Quality review panels, they also require so many people and quality personals to work under them. Signal review panels are different. Then communication of pharmacovigilance can be done through press, website, newsletter, training and workshops, right? So NCC also provides training and workshop to healthcare professionals and technical associates at ADR monitoring centers. So many such kinds of training and workshop coordinators positions can be there in the healthcare systems, right? So there can be so much of career opportunities in pharmacovigilance. But for that part, you have to understand that what is pharmacovigilance, how it works, what is its important, right? Because drug safety associated is one of the very important positions, which has the main role of the drug safety associate is, processing the ICSRs, the individual case safety reports, to enter the EDR data into databases, medical coding like MedDR dictionary, WHODD, they should be knowing, right? The people from B.Pharma, M.Pharma, BSc, MSc, they can get the positions. The pharmacovigilance officer positions are there. Executive pharmacovigilance executives can be there. Again, they are basically there to review the adverse drug reaction cases, to perform the casualty assessments, to ensure the regulatory compliance. Medical reviewer or drug safety physicians are also there. For that case, they require specifically MBBS and MD, right? They analyze the serious ADRs and they provide the medical opinion, right? Then signal detection specialists are there. Again, they are there to identify the new safety signals from large databases, right? Where there should be good handling on certain kinds of tools, databases. Risk management specialists are there. Regulatory affair PV linked roles are there. Pharmacovigilance scientists and managers are there, who are the leaders of the pharmacovigilance teams, who are there for planning the strategies, audits, inspections, right? And many pharma companies recruit. Sun Pharma is there, Supply is there, Dr. Reddy is there, your AIMS hospitals branches are there throughout the India, who are recruiting so many pharmacovigilance staffs. Your this TCS like companies are there, like clinical research organization. Your IQVIA is there, your Cognizant is there. Certain hospitals and AMCs under Pharmacovigilance Program of India, they are there, who are giving the positions in pharmacovigilance, right? Right from, like, even a fresher is there, so they can get a salary of about 2.5 to 4 lakh per annum, right? With and when experience increases, you get a good handsome amount of salary, and your skills should be, you should be having the knowledge of adverse drug reaction, you should be knowledge about the medical coding, you should have a basic clinical knowledge also, you should be good at data handling and documentation, your communication skills should be good. So pharmacovigilance careers, they focus on, monitoring the drug safety, analyzing adverse effect, and protecting the patient health. So that is the importance of pharmacovigilance. There's a lot to talk about, but uh, there is this is an overview, like how pharmacovigilance is important, and how there can be so much opportunities if you are well versed with this particular technique. There are so many different opportunities in this specific field, which are definitely for the young people, for the freshers, for the experienced ones, right, who can plan their careers in these respective fields, right? So that is all from my side, because I was supposed to take this session for 30 to 40 minutes as an overview. If you have any queries, any questions related to the session, you are most welcome to ask. The platform is open. Thank you so much. If you have
Ma'am,
any
good evening,
queries,
ma'am. Ma'am, good
good
evening,
evening.
ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Ma'am, I have a few clarifications, few doubts. Some of the clarifications I request from you, ma'am.
Sure,
Uh,
sure, ma'am. Please.
the thing is what, as you said, from 1940 onwards, it started about the survey of pharmacovigilance. And
Mhm.
slowly it has moved up to 2004. It was very hectic. And further, I think so, from later only in 2008, Pharm.D has been introduced into the India, the course, new
Yeah.
course Pharm.D.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
as you said, because of this various ADR effect of various drugs, lot of pharmacovigilance has been raised, and due to that ADR has been come. You have explained everything. Really, it's very simple and quite clarity is there with us. What is pharmacovigilance? As you said, pharmacodynamic or pharmacodynamic. Apart from this, too, other
Mhm.
part of gender based upon the gender thing, the ADR may differ, as you said. Not only
Yes,
the
yes.
dynamic or kinetic, it may occur due to gender also.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, definitely. Yes.
And the thing is what you said, some of the uh, places where we can able to get program, where we can able to get this pharmacovigilance ideas, as you said. So we need some of the workshops or webinars related to that program who are organizing this pharmacovigilance, ma'am.
Yes. See, for example, this is because I'm only a resource person for this Learn to Upgrade. So under this Learn to Upgrade only, they give this specific deliveries of certain sessions related to pharmacovigilance, right? Because see, one of the very important thing is being in the pharma field, we study a lot about the drugs, about the properties, the drug delivery systems. Like we study the core of this field, right? But the main thing is that understanding the, because the pharmacovigilance is all about understanding the adverse drug reactions, and because the base is there, right? As I said, that for example, genetic predispositions are there. The concept that we talk about is personalized medications. So this concept of personalized medication came from this adverse drug reaction related, you know these concerns which are because of the genetic predispositions, like how our genes are there, and how our genes are responsible that how the drug will be metabolized in the body. So for example, if some person is there, right, some person is there and maybe everything is working fine and they took a medications, right, and they immediately got anaphylactic shock. So maybe not any other reason, but there may be some specific gene which may be basically the one which may be mutated, or maybe their epigenome system or their gene expression may be have silenced or suppressed, that may cause the ADR. So identifying to that level is very important, right? So that means if someone is in this field, they should be knowing all these things from the base to advance, right? So that means like Learn to Upgrade is also organizing so many sessions which is basically dedicated to the pharmacovigilance from the very base to advance. Like when I deliver such sessions, I take care of the theoretical part, and meanwhile, I also give some laboratory like visual demonstrations from my lab also. Like for example, I said that okay, genetic predisposition is the case related to ADR. So I'll also showcase how we study these genetic cases through the PCR machinery system, how these results are interpreted. If I'm saying then some cases are because of the immunological disorders, right? So I'll also showcase some of the machineries like ELISA system, that how this machine works, how we are identifying certain IgGs or IgM antibodies to detect such kind of cases, so that the student knows from the base that how ADRs are detected, how a case report form is filled. And I also plan some of the case studies also. Like for example, I have allotted some assignments that okay, this is the case study, and accordingly you have to fill a case report form, right? So they will be doing these activities. Then we will also having some sessions on the medical coding, which is basically the med DRA dictionaries, right? Because medical coding is again very important for the people who are part of the pharmacovigilance, how to categorize the different kinds of symptoms or ADRs under different organ system classifications or terminologies. So we plan this whole sessions in a way that the student know from the base to the advanced part, right? So if you want, you can contact with the coordinator of this Learn to Upgrade. So we can plan a session of 10 to 15 days, which will be a hour based session, so that we can deliver the from the base to the advanced part of the pharmacovigilance, and the certificate is valid as well. So because most of the part is theoretical, right? So we can have some of the practical sessions also, like PCR technologies, how they work in pharmacovigilance, the ELISA system, how the laboratory information system work, or how the different databases work, like VG based software is there, PVPI based software systems are there. So we can plan it accordingly.
Yeah, that's a thing, ma'am. Medical coding is very important. Even I too say to my students, even we are planning for that training program for medical coding also. Multiple institutions are there outside, but our institutions are insisting us, our per students to learn more course certificate courses in multiple of criteria like clinical trials, data science, everything. We are very interested to support our students. Clear? So that's why I want to talk to
Definitely,
Ajay
ma'am.
sir also. Yeah, I'll discuss to Ajay sir. I'll discuss to Ajay
Yeah,
sir and
yeah.
make, yeah, we need
You
more
can
of
coordinate,
practical.
ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, we need more of practical workshops to our students. Such a way that practical workshop will give more experience to the students in compared to theoretical. Because you may have a less theoretical observations, multiple will have a practical observations. So
Exactly.
really, it's
Yes.
very
For
nice
example,
section we have.
for example, in pharmacovigilance, theoretical parts are more, but yes, in few, for example, if we are just learning a ADR part, so in ADR part, how that particular adverse drug reaction is detected by use of biochemistry analyzers or ELISA machines or PCR, that are some of the practical parts, right? They may be not something that may be like part of pharmacovigilance directly, but yes, for the detection of ADRs, you need the machineries, right? You need the kits, right? You need to calculate the values, like if they are elevated or they are like how the values are there. Maybe it is affecting the hepat system or the renal systems, right? So that part will also give idea to the students that okay, if we are talking about ADR, these are the machine systems which are there to detect the ADRs. Either it's the clinical research organization, either it's the hospital environment. Everything is dependent on the machine system only. And when I talk about the databases and when I talk about the case report form filling or the case studies, it will give them some like brain like activity also, that okay, I have to prepare I have to fill this particular individual case report for the PVPR, right? So if this is the case, how I will write the drug's name, how I will identify the case, how I will identify the duration. So all the things, they will be like activity based only, right? So integration of both these things, it will help the students.
Yeah, this is the thing what you're saying, the medical writer or medical reviewer, what you're saying, isn't it, ma'am? When some
Yes,
of the
yes.
institutions they are calling for the medical writer or medical
Yes,
reviewer,
yes, definitely.
database analyzer, multiple of categories are there. I think so. Is it correct, ma'am? in
Yes,
the
correct, ma'am.
pharmacovigilance.
It's very vast, and for a specific duration, we can decide some of the topics which will be under this, and that will give the students some good. At least when they are going in the market, they will not be a naive one. They know that okay, this exists, and these are the elements of pharmacovigilance. So it will also help them in for the interview purposes also, and they can withstand so many such questions if they are sitting in the interview.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll proceed it further in the chatting
Okay, ma'am.
process.
Most
Thank you very
welcome.
much. Thank
Okay, most welcome, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Okay, bachcho, all my dear participants, thank you so much. Right, and madam is there. She will be coordinating, right? And if any student is not part of the School of Pharmacy under madam, you can contact through, like, I don't know, maybe you have got mail from any contact person, so you can coordinate further for such kinds of program, right? Prashanti, after joining training, will be given so that when we'll be train and learn. And yes, Prashanti, basically we will be delivering the session so that you know that how for pharmacovigilance work, right? Because it's very much definite that you all are freshers, right? You don't know, you don't have experience how it is work, but the most important thing is having a concept and idea about any job positions you're applying for or any field. Once you have that concept and idea, you know that actually how the work is going on in that particular system. So once you are well versed with that, it will it will help you a lot to at least know the culture of the work in that particular departments, right? So you can contact the this contact person of Learn to Upgrade, because I'm a resource person. I was asked to take the session, so I'm from that perspective. I'm taking the sessions, right? So you can coordinate directly to the contact persons from the Learn to Upgrade, and accordingly we can plan. Like they can communicate with me or team that how to plan this program. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. Wish you all the best.